This is InsideInvestmentBanking.com, the place where you can find every secret you need to break into banking. Vault and Wet Feet membership site and guides. The dinosaurs of the IB advice industry, places where a banker hasn't been spotted since Tyrannosaurus roamed the earth. Joking, are options too. Vault and Wet Feet are the two leaders in the general career advice industry, and the reason you should check them out is because it's important to be up to speed on what your fellow competition knows, and because you probably have a free subscription to them through your college. Is it worth buying a subscription to Vault or Wet Feet or one of their numerous guides in order to unlock their investment banking surveys, bank-specific information profiles, and such if you can't get them free? Well, I did when I found out the college subscription didn't give me access to everything. Verdict? Although I found the banking information sections somewhat useful, nicely synthesized information here. By contrast, the banker interviews were fairly dull and lifeless, with almost no explosive insider secrets to be found, in my opinion. Overall, subscribe if you have the cash and time to spare, because these two players can offer a solid learning base for banking newbies. Bank-sponsored recruitment info sites. The most obvious example is Deutsche Bank's unofficial guide to banking. It has bank PR department written all over it. Although these types of sites are usually 100% focused on IB recruiting facts and tips, good, and the advice itself is written by young bankers actually working at the banks, also good, I and the rest of the team think they're fairly useless. Sure, it's handy to have a quick glimpse at these sites to see what recent grads have to say about banking, but don't expect original advice or dangerously effective tips and tricks for getting into investment banking. Why are these sites filled with such hollow tips and boring facts given there are dozens of real junior bankers just like us contributing? Because the young bankers are speaking on the record on behalf of their bank's name and in response to trifling questions like, what's the best way for interested candidates to apply? Download an application. Contrast that with this, where us five bankers are able to rant, rave, and reveal insider secrets without fear of reprisal from some sadistic MD in TMT. All the other types of investment banking websites. Old school favorites. There are many investment banking blogs out there like Careers in Finance, iBanking FAQ, etc., which, although not as comprehensive as, say, Mergers and Inquisitions, are definitely worth a look. The guys and gals behind these sites have put a lot of work into creating a solid base of articles on investment banking recruiting. I think a site like Careers in Finance is one of the first places I would send a student who is completely new to IB recruiting. The reason being, CIF has a good collection of introductory articles that do a reliable job of hand-holding readers through the basics, like what is M&A, what do investment bankers do every day, and how do I get into banking in today's changed environment. Watch out, however, for websites that are mere portals to expensive, real-world courses, training programs, or financial modeling products. News junkies' favorites. On one hand, you've got all the investment banking media sites of the major papers, like Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times. For example, Financial Times' in-depth investment banking site. And on the other, you have real niche sites, like Investment Banking News and Dealbreaker. Now, I'll be the first to admit that as bankers, we love these sites, littered as they are with financial dirty talk. But for college students? Well, the reality is that keeping abreast of breaking news, daily market gossip, and humor-based investment banking news isn't really helpful for your chances of getting into banking. Instead, you want to limit your media consumption and almost focus more on hardcore recruiting topics like what are the most common investment banking interview questions and answers. So if you're visiting these news sites, please avoid the ADD-inspired headlines and instead focus on their feature articles and 80-20 summary sections. Disillusioned bankers' favorites. Finally, check out Leveraged Sellout now and again for some comedy relief and, of course, their infamous video, Damn It Feels Good to Be a Banker, on YouTube. And oh yeah, I have to include the blog Stuff Bankers Like too, because as when reading LSO's book, so much of it is painfully and hilariously close to the truth. It's the kind of antidote any aspiring banker needs when tough recruiting conditions have got them down. This has been another InsideInvestmentBanking.com presentation.